So as we've pretty much now finished off the game, it's probably transfers, more batches of footies, and then pretty much we're on to FC26. These are going to be the final players that really you're looking at. You're trying to pack, you're trying to get, maybe evolve some of them to 99s when we eventually get there. And that's pretty much the game done. So we're going to run through each position, which ones are my choices. Now in goalkeeping terms, they've actually done pretty well. I thought we was going to get one or two maybe extra goalies during footies. They have given us a great lineup. And every single one on this list is 100% a very good option that you can go for. Now, I have my personal preferences. I think Van der Sar, in my eyes, is going to be number one. I think De Gea's came out of absolutely nowhere from his team of the season. He's always been a good goalkeeper. I do think this year, again, throwing himself into that top spot. Buffon was always going to be class. Donnarumma, Courtois, again, incredible in their own rights. Just the fact that both of them are absolutely gigantic. At 6'7", I don't know if many people really kind of comment on kind of the height of keepers or have that as a massive factor. For me, it is. I always prefer the taller keepers. It's always what's been the common denominator around better keepers. Not always, but that's normally what I hang on to. So I do think all of them have in their own right a more sustainable ability to be in your goal and make the most of it. If they're going to pass round you, they're going to pass round you. There's not a lot you can do about that. I must admit as well, just as a throw of the outside shock here, Dudek is not bad. He's definitely been better in comparison to what we've seen in previous years. I'm surprised we haven't seen anything from Tim Howard. I thought we might have been able to get another footies version or variant from him, but he has gone a little bit quiet since his last upgrade. But I do think for me, these are the top options I would go for keeper, and I personally would look, as an icon, I'd go Van der Sar. As a normal player, I'd personally go Courtois. So if you're looking for coins, check in the description for El Dorado. Depending on the coin amount that you're looking for, the delivery time is displayed on the website, and you'll see lots of different trusted sellers with reviews on specifics and also the ability to be able to pick who you want. It will also show how much they have in stock, and obviously you can see that they are verified members. There is 100% refund ability and also 24/7 support if you need any questions with your coin needs. Also, if you head over to Trustpilot as well, you can see over 30,000 upvotes for them. You can see how reliable they are. Obviously great feedback across the entire board with El Dorado. So when on checkout, make sure you are using the code JT11 for 5% off your order every time. Discount code JT11. Now let's get back to the video. This is where it always gets a little bit funky. The centre backs this year have been on form. Not that you've necessarily needed to change much from an Evo'd Virgil to maybe a cheeky team of the year that you found, another Evo for a Saliba, the Thunderstruck. To be honest, I've managed to have a 92 Virgil until we got to this 99. Yes, there's been some changes here and there, but realistically, there has had so many nice options, and in footies, it is no difference. The Virgil is a normal pass. I believe it's not the... it's not the premium pass, I don't believe. It's the final reward, and arguably the best centre-back in the game by a landslide. He is absolutely incredible, so I would always issue you to try and get him if you can. We've had a lot of SP, and I know it runs out, I believe, this Thursday, so you've got to get it grinded out if you can. He is worth every single penny that you put into this game because he's the best. He's always been the best. And then picking a partner, you've got options. You have truly got options. I think from the SPC sort of standpoint, Van de Ven and Jaap Stam have been incredibly worth their value. I think Van de Ven will be one that I personally try and get into a 99 Evo. He has been brilliant in that centre-back role, whereas Saliba is always tried and tested. He's a very good centre-back, another one well worth looking at the 99. And even then, if we throw in some out of the footies promo, Williamson, great set of stats. You've obviously got some solid playstyle pluses as well. The quick step, yes, you could always argue height into this, 5'7". I'm the first to always argue a height when it comes to it, even though we've had the Cordobas of the world, the Cannavaros that lead the line and are exceptional in the game. I do find that taller sometimes is better at the centre-back. Not always, because sometimes you find that because we've got no crosses going into the game, there's very few over-the-top through balls. It's almost done on the ground, which obviously leads to more of a ground play, which is always nice. But you always find that sometimes the kind of Virgil van Dijks, the Maldinis of the world will always overshadow pretty much most. Rodri, I think, is a 98 shapeshifter, one of the better ones that we saw from shapeshifters as well. Becoming 98 was always going to be a fan favourite. He can play left back, right back if he really wanted to, but centre back is the position that you'd go with there. When you look at the rest of the footies, to be honest, they're in that same position. I'll always have the same with Beckenbauer. I do like him as a CDM more. Now, I have definitely had a lot of people suggesting that he's exceptional in the centre-back role as well, which I don't deny. I can imagine he can play both. I just would prefer him in that CDM. Being 5'11", him in front of a Virgil van Dijk and Maldini, a Virgil van Dijk and Saliba, I think would be a great trio pairing in that middle of the field. Same with Carlos Alberto. He can play right back or centre back. I think both positions would suit him down to the ground. We obviously then have Bastoni. He's always been that end level. The 97 was fantastic. The 98 is even better. And hopefully we get that 5th place star plus that just adds to that level. Whereas Johnny Stones from his numero foot days was brilliant as a centre-back or a CDM. And this version has definitely just taken it to that next level. Now, obviously with a lot of these centre-backs, because they only have the quadruple play star plus, they may always seem a little bit inferior compared to the 5th play star pluses. And it's why we're waiting for that 5th play star plus to become cemented in the game. We got the very first one in this week's paid Evo, but we are still waiting for that to start rolling out, and hopefully start rolling out to the 97s, eventually to the 98s, and then we just eventually end up with a 99 rated team. Now, in terms of who I would pick from this, Virgil will always be the number 1 slot. I think then I'm going for the Van der Ven for the evolution. If I was looking without the evolution, I think it probably would have to go to Maldini. I do think he is just brilliant in every game. He's always been there. And then if I was to not pick Virgil, say I don't get him, it'd probably end up being another version of him, or I probably would just go with Saliba or Bastoni. And then we move on to the fullbacks. Again, I think most positions at this point in the game have done really well. There's always a standout. You look at your Nuno Mendes's, you look at your Mendy's, your Maicons, your Dumfries, your Thuram's, and they are always going to be the meta, the top 3, the top 4 in each position. They are always going to be there. But that doesn't mean that Ashley Cole is completely written off. It doesn't mean Zambrotta can't be a beautiful upgrade with an Evo potential to go into that final spot. They are all great in their own right. I think you could go with any of these combinations of a Zambrotta and Ashley Cole, a Roberto Carlos and a Koyunde. They work very, very well. One I didn't expect to get was going to be Lala. I really thought he was done after he got that 94 from the Season 7. I thought that could have been the final card. It's not like he's a great name that's come through this season specifically. I know previous FIFAs he's obviously been incredible in that 1 year. I don't even know how many cards he got, but it was a crazy amount of cards, and of course they've taken it away, so we're not going to see that anytime soon. But obviously he had that year where he just got everything, headliners, informs, it was just everywhere. So it is always interesting to see with him, obviously. But he did manage to get another upgrade, which again is in itself very good. A lot of these cards, I must admit, could do with that final upgrade. We look at the Dumfries, the Maicons, the Koyundes, the Coles. They are needing that final upgrade to give him either that 98 or 99 rating, but then add in that 5th play star plus. Most of them have pretty decent playstyle pluses across the board, which I think is fantastic. Nuno Mendes is always going to be a fan favourite, being one of the first 99s in that fullback role, and he's obviously got the stats to go with it. Some incredible cards that he's had across this journey recently as well. 2 road to the final S cards, or 2 champion winning cards, a 95 team of the season, and then into that 99 footies is just impeccable. Mendy will always be a fan favourite like Virgil for the fact that he is in that Season 9 promo card as well. I mean, that for me is incredible in itself. You get him up to that 99 with an Evo, he most definitely will be a lot of people's fan favourites just from name alone. And same with Roberto Carlos. He's finally got his upgrade from his Team of the Year, a lovely up to the 98. 5 playstyle pluses, a great card to throw into the team as well. And same with Greenwood, the English ladies with their Path to Glories and their I don't know if it was their Euro winning side. They obviously got a few cards from them, and they were incredible. Like the stats wise, you're looking at great stats as always. You're looking at great playstyle pluses. I mean, she's definitely not one to miss out on. There's loads that you can get from them as well. And then when you look at the right back sort of zone, I think you've not got one standout. You've just got a lot of top end. Maicon, Thuram, Dumfries, are kind of my personal favourites, and I think all of them could do with that final upgrade to that 98-99, but they are all very much in their same right, the best in that position. I don't think you could argue between them. They are all absolutely incredible. Now, if I was to pick two, if I was going against Mendy, I think Mendy definitely with a 99 would be one of my favourites. Teo Hernandez as a transferred card coming out hopefully soon will be a fan favourite. Nuno Mendes has got to be the number one. And personally, I'd actually go Dumfries. Since using him, I love Maicon and Thuram, but I must admit Dumfries just has something special in this game. And it's funny just talking that much on defence. We're not even into the actual attacking side of the game. The midfield has had an absolute revamp. I think for the whole of this year, we've had a striker. We've had a striker Evo. We've had wingers. We've had lots of Evo wingers. And even in the defence, centre-backs have been at that forefront of Evos. Fullbacks have been that kind of extra line. You've normally had Teo Hernandez getting a 1 upgrade and it's absolutely fine. You've been in the right back and had many SBCs. The midfield has always been one. If you've not managed to get a Hullet, if you've not managed to Evo a Tchouaméni, if you've not managed to get one of the big cards, the midfield's always been a little bit lacking. It's always been that card where I'm like, I could do with the upgrade. We did get Thuram at the start of the game and he managed to get a few Evos, but realistically it's only been since late that we've just had talent after talent after talent. The cams are absolutely brilliant. You're looking at the arguments between a 99 Pele and a 99 Cruyff. Both of them in their own right should be in everybody's team. Now obviously with a lot of these players, they can play multiple positions. You could put Cruyff as a striker. You could put Bellingham in the centre mid. And you could also go with kind of Hullet as a striker if you really wanted to. But if I was looking at their statistically best position, I was looking at cam for all of them. I was looking at centre mids across the board, your CDMs. There's always got to be a winner. And I think for me, Cruyff is fantastic. Cruyff will always be unbelievable. He's got the stats, he's got the playstyle pluses, he's got the vision of going forward. But there is just something in the water with Pele. He's just that good. I honestly, I could never put my finger on it with Pele because he's always been great. Like, he always starts the game. Technical isn't normally my sort of thing, but it works. You go with this version, quick step technical. It shouldn't work. We've got better players, and yet he's still incredible. We then go into the foot ultimate, the ultimate foot cards. Again, technical, tiki-taka, low driven, it's a brand new one. No finesse in sight, no quick step in sight, and yet he's still one of the most expensive cards in the game. It's just because in-game, Pele is goated. He just keeps the ball. His dribbling is exceptional. His shooting is astronomical. He just is that card. And it just goes down to a personal favourite. You can't argue. It'd be like arguing between 99, Messi, CR7, Mbappe and R9. They are all great in their own right. Cruyff and Pele are arguably the same sort of player. They dribble, they shoot, they score. It just depends on who you want to go with. Now, obviously, Bellingham is coming in from the season pass, so I do think he's going to be in a lot of people's teams. You're going to see Mendy, you're going to see Ginola, you're going to see Virgil van Dijk, and also Bellingham, and maybe even his brother as well. But Bellingham has always had that name, and it's finally one where I think the playstyle pluses actually benefit the card. You look from the 90, got the Relentless. You're like, okay, we got it. We did get later on this absolutely exceptional card with the Incisive, but we did get a few other cards prior to that just were going nowhere. We got to Foot Birthday, and the best they could come up with was a Relentless and Technical. We got into his Team of the Season. Again, we got the Power Shot. By then, it wasn't really as effective. The Incisive was back, beautiful. Quick Step Technical. You're thinking, as a cam, I've got better players already. So unfortunately, he was left to the side, let alone the Team of the Year. Incisive was lovely, but Relentless and Power Shot again, it just didn't cover the bill. But finally, we managed to get Technical again. I mean, they hold their own there. But a First Touch, an Incisive, a Low Driven, a Quick Step. He finally reached a level where he's playable. He's actually a viable option to go in, and he's technically free, which is even better. The centre mids vary beyond position. Obviously, Pirlo and Xavi are brilliant in their own rights. I think Xavi always deserves a mention from his SBC. He is just a cracking upgrade. It's one of the best, if not the best Xavis that we have physically got in the game today. And I do think he is just perfect when it comes to a tricky midfielder, someone to get the ball forward. He works effortlessly with it. Whereas then they did think, okay, well, we got Xavi, let's make a Pirlo. and they just absolutely stomped that card out of the water. This card is just a joke. I really didn't expect to get a 99 Pirlo. It was not on my bingo card, and I'm so glad it came because look at the card. He is stunning. Absolutely stunning. You throw an anchor on that bad boy, 99, 96, 99, 99, 98, 99. That is a statted card beyond belief. And brilliant with the playstyle pluses, brilliant on the pitch. He is just everything you want. Now, obviously, he's going to have a partner, and who better than a 99 Hullet? Again, another card that you just know. Hullet this year has just been brilliant. He got his base card. He got the Thunderstruck, was good. We got the 94 that was an SBC that was well worth completing. But now we have the big dog. We have the absolute monster that is 99 Hullet. Brilliant. We also have then a 99 Bonmati, a tournament or a player of the tournament in the Euros. Again, another one, a Ballon d'Or winner, an absolutely exceptional card. Very much like your Xavis and your Pirlos of the world. Just brilliant on the ball. She's always been that one step lower than Pateus. This year, she has absolutely taken that crown and ran with it. Which then leaves us with our CDMs. Now, CDM has always been a hard position to fill. Conte was normally the one that fills it and fills it for the entirety of the year. From that gold Chelsea 90, 89, 91 Conte, he was always the one that you went to. He lasts all year and he's brilliant. This year I feel like we've been waiting on Evos. We finally got a great four. We got a beautiful Camavinga, a brilliant SBC, some good playstyle pluses, a 5th playstyle plus needed, but a stunning card. We then got a bit of Tchouaméni prior to this. I think both of them have been due an upgrade, but we've had many Tchouaméni upgrades in terms of Evos that you could have gone with. Whether you've seen it all the way through, we finally got one that can make it. We got an exceptional Caicedo. He obviously had got a lovely road to the final from his Chelsea variant, and finally we got another upgrade again to turn him into that top end CDM, 98 rated, great playstyle pluses, and just an absolute blessing on the field. Great across the board. But Matuidi has stolen the show. The Evos that he's had from his 95, the 99s he possesses, the moment this guy gets into that 99 Evo, he will be worth every single penny. His just ability on the field is brilliant. I did think from obviously the two versions that we got, it was good, but he needed that upgrade. Ramirez was the last year's version of this, where I thought during footies, that could be the one. And let me tell you, where Ramirez is, absolutely nowhere. We got a World Cup showdown for him, a 94, and that's it. That's all we got. Matuidi has taken it, ran with it, and has absolutely put his stamp on. Now, if I was to pick a 2 out of these, or if I pick a 3 out of these, in each position, Pirlo is a very close first, but it's always got to be Hullet for that centre mid vibe. I would personally go Matuidi for the upgrade in the future. I'd go Caicedo for right now, and in terms of Cam, I think it always has to be Pele. Which then leads us to the left and right wings. I mean, again, you've got 99s pretty much everywhere. There's a couple of 98s in this, and to be honest, they ain't going over many of the 99s. Now, if we're looking at the left-hand side, we'd obviously have to throw a Ronaldinho in there, but for right now, 99 Doué, 99 Rafinha, 99 Dembele, if you, well, I mean, he's right wing. It'd be 99 Bale, I suppose. But Eusebio is obviously in there. Multiple of them can play left wing as well. Obviously, you look at Yamal, he can play both. Bale can play both. Maradona can play both as well. These are kind of just cards that you kind of expect. I mean, you kind of know what these cards are all about. I think Bale was definitely the more shocking to get the 99, but I think he was always worth it. Once Bale was announced for this year, you knew full well by the end of the game he was going to have an incredible card. It's just what's going to happen. It's the same as when we eventually get into the Messi and Ronaldo icon era. You know by the end of the game, they are hitting a 99. There's just no question about it. I think Bale on his first year was always going to get there. He has been brilliant across the board, and I do think his 99 is exceptional in himself. Messi, as a 99, will always be a fan favourite. I think they finally added a little bit from Hansen. I do think she's a little bit underwhelming in comparison to what we've had prior. I do think having the trickster, the technical, the rapid, all taking up 3 playstyle pluses just isn't the greatest, but she's still very good on the ball, which is nice. And I do think Yamal has got a future beyond belief. If you've watched him in game, this kid is going far. Like, if you can just bottle him up and keep him going the way he's going, he is going to be the next best thing. Like you just know, you can see it. You can see it in the game. His confidence is at a high. You just pray no injuries, no kind of doubt in confidence, and he's going to be the guy that you get in footies year in, year out. I think Dembele, again, as another one this year, has been exceptional. He's always had a doubt from his Barca days, and then coming into PSG, maybe not hitting the ground running consistently, but now he looks like he's just going to continue. So loads and loads of cards in this. If I was to go with two of them, I think Messi would be, just because it's Messi. I think that will always be a name that has to hold weight. If I was to go and think, okay, I'm not going just Messi on this, I think Bale would be my next favourite, followed by maybe by Yamal and then Salah. But I do think Messi would have to be my kind of right wing here. Left wing, I think there's open for debate. If you go in Messi right wing, I think you could easily go Bale left. But I do think Bale could always throw himself as a striker as well. I think if I was looking at the left wings that are just solely left wings, I'd probably go for Rafinha, to be honest. I think Vinny is exceptional, but they really screwed him not being a 99 in this. I think Rafinha would actually absolutely take that lead for me. Which then leads us into the strikers. Now, again, the list of strikers is just mental. You've got the top end here. Your Mbappes, your R9s, your CR7s. You're then going a bit further down with your Henrys, your Etos, your Rooneys. All of them are deserving of a top spot. Now, I don't think you could really top off many of this trio here. I do think Rio's thrown himself in there just as an extra fun card, something different. Rio's obviously got a 92 centre back that you can obviously evo up to the best of his ability, but I don't think his shapeshifter was a bad one. Very much like Rodri, there was a few shapeshifters that actually made the cut and at least was semi-viable as an option. I don't think they were the best in their position, but they were good enough. And whether you put him against any of these, probably not. But I think then if you look at the SBC side of stuff, I think Rooney is most definitely one that's got to be up there. I maybe could have argued Puskas's position as an SBC over someone like Rio, but with a very limited amount of kind of space that you go in, you're arguably picking one or two strikers at the absolute maximum. Now, like the cams, most of them have got other positions. You've got right wings, you've got cams, you've got left wings you can throw in there. And I think all of them would still keep their level status in each of the positions. I think Henry this year has been just a class above the rest. Wilson will always be a phenomenal striker. If you've not tried her out, give her a go. As well as Ginola as two freer options that you can obviously do. I think from the season pass this year, or this season, this month, has been brilliant for giving you them end game cards for just playing that game. You don't necessarily need to be grinding out massively for the 99 Mbappe to make the starting lineup. But if you manage to get him, then obviously he's going to be over the rest of them. There's a reason why R9 is still 15 mil, Mbappe is still 7, Ronaldo is still 4. They are the best in the game, and they are always going to get that number one spot. I think it's an argument to always go with. Now, if I was to pick two, I think unfortunately for I think for me, if I was to go with this, Mbappe, I would personally go down a different route because he doesn't have that finesse shot. Now, I've got an Evo that allows that finesse shot. He's 98 rated at the moment. He will get to that 99. I don't technically need this version. So I would take that as an argument. And I think for me personally, I would go with R9 and CR7 for this card right now. Now, Mbappe doesn't need the finesse shot. You can still play with this card. It's not saying if you've managed to get him that he's worthless in that sort of aspect, but I personally like the finesse shot. It's a great playstyle plus. It gets a lot of goals for you, and I do think that would warrant the CR7 and, well, the Ronaldo partnership. If I was looking away from this trio, I think Rooney and Henry would definitely take the lead, or even maybe a Haaland and Eto'o would still come up absolute trumps in this. So that is going to be my list for today. Let me know if you've managed to get any of the 99s yet. I believe we've just managed to get the Ginola, the obvious Virgil. We're still working on the SBCs because they're not easy to get, and hopefully by next Friday we should finally get into there. So let me know down below what you think. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all for that next one. Peace.